started the YouTube channel February 2nd of 2018 and been releasing a video every day from there. Brought Austin on a month later.
Video every day since February 2nd, 2018.
That's right.
It's not called Altcoin Weekly.
All right, welcome back to Bitcoin is Hard. This is a Choice App production about Bitcoin and personal finance. We are shooting live from Miami Beach, Florida at the Blinko Miami conference. And I'm here with Aaron and Austin of the world famous Altcoin Daily channel on YouTube.
Dude, thank you for having us. Honored to be here.
Yeah. We exclusively bought out Nikki Beach right here for this episode. Got the room temperature Pellegrinos, and we're just trying to go for a fun Friday episode at the end of this conference. What I want to do with just this chill Friday and with you guys is we talked a little bit about let's just start here. There's this parallel because you guys are involved in the entertainment industry. And we hear a lot about this pay me in Bitcoin movement, and there's a lot of athletes attached to it right now. There's a giant panel yesterday where Serena Williams, OBJ, Aaron Rodgers were up there talking about being paid in Bitcoin, and the reason, like loosely, is because athletes, their income can be very irregular. Like the average career span of an athlete is very short. So even though they're paid very high, that money needs to last for a long time. You need to make smart decisions with it. And then so topics of inflation, all that things come up. You guys are actors yourselves, and you have other working actor friends. I imagine there's the same issue within the entertainment industry.
100%. And for the folks at home, Aaron and I, we went out to Los Angeles from Ohio probably 8 years ago. In the middle of that, or early on in that, we got bit by the crypto bug and then grew the channel from there. And we still have two passions, guest stars, co-stars on shows, a lifetime twin thriller, if anybody's into that. But it is tough because you got to rainmake every time you get a job.
Right.
You have to then find the next job.
Right. No, okay, keep going with the history because I wanted to hear that too. Tell us about the history of, so were you guys involved in acting or theater or whatever back in Ohio, or how, give us more on the timeline.
100%. That was our passion. We did the plays. We majored in that in college, and the plan was always to move out to California.
Yeah.
And pursue the filmmaking industry. And
what were some of your favorite roles back in high school or college?
In high school.
And we can bring the coffee in. This is casual. Yeah. This is completely casual.
I'm really hoping for that coffee. I can't be any clearer.
We can load it up we can help them for the next question.
Anything could happen, guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. The lovely Kate.
Thanks.
Favorite roles in high school?
I was just going to say Gaston. Played Gaston in Beauty and the Beast in high school.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Slim.
Did you both have to audition against each other for it?
Every gosh darn time.
Yeah.
Or, have similar types.
Okay.
But,
well, yeah.
And then people ask us out here in Hollywood, man, you guys must be in the same waiting room, in the same auditions. And I would say yes, but in Hollywood, turns out there's a ton of, white dudes that are kind of tall in their, lower 30s. There's a million of them. So the point is, I would much rather, I'm rooting for Aaron to get the part if I don't, because plenty of times just a random guy that looks kind of similar to me too would get that part.
Right.
Well, let's bring it back, because to answer the original question, what you were alluding to is when it's just like crypto, man, when it's hot, and when it's cool, it's cool. Mm-hmm. And, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes you're just hodling. And how that relates to acting is, sometimes you get a show, maybe you get a commercial, it plays for a year, you do really well for a year.
Right.
Or you get a show and you do really well for, it'd be nice if it's if you're starring on the show, but sometimes just a guest star. Mm-hmm. There can be much time where you cool off, and so the people, you really just need to figure out, just like in crypto, how can you stay the most time possible. You don't want to burn out. Mm-hmm. They say in Hollywood, if you last in Hollywood for 4 years, you're probably more likely to be in it for the long term. Mm-hmm. Most people move back home before 4 years, and Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, can definitely help with that personal finance through Choice IRA, which I'm a huge fan of. And I think saving in Bitcoin and investing definitely.
It makes you think about, your financial well-being and just the finances in general differently.
Yeah.
So obviously when we really care about that, when we're trying to, rain back.
Moved to LA 8 years ago. When did the cryptocurrency bug happen, as you said on the top?
Okay. So, moved 8 years ago. It was it wasn't in the beginning. It was after we've been here a while. It was basically, I started dabbling in cryptocurrency late 2016 throughout 2017, but not that much. Just a little bit of money.
Peripheral.
Yeah, it was kind of like a peripheral.
And were you already doing anything on YouTube then at that point?
Nothing on YouTube. I was interested in getting involved in YouTube in general.
Yes.
I did see that as like people say we're in a digital gold rush with cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
I think we're in a content creation gold rush.
Yeah.
Because YouTube was only invented in 2005. It wasn't really a business till 5-10 years later, and now everybody has the tools, the editing software, the camera equipment to start their own stuff. So I was interested in getting in YouTube. At first, I was thinking maybe I can do a vegan cooking show. I know that might sound lame, and I did out myself as a vegan, but but at the time in 2016, there's a lot of female vegan cooking shows on YouTube and not a lot of male ones. And then I never ended up doing it because there's you have to just a lot of pre-production, a lot of prep. You get slick at
That
it.
set's hard too, a cooking show.
Yes.
Because what I was about to ask was, so 2016, 2017 to start doing it a little, and then so you guys were sharing an apartment. Did you guys have a day job and auditioning?
Hell
Is
yeah.
this the vision?
Hell yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Bartender,
What was the day job?
Bartender,
Personal trainer.
personal
Nice.
trainer.
24-hour
Okay.
fitness.
Great.
So anyway, I never ended up doing that vegan
Do
cooking
you go
show.
to his personal training?
I went to the same gym and we worked out together, but he had personal trained in a gym that was actually a little farther away, so
Yeah.
he never personal trained me, and I know everything. I'm just kidding. No, obviously it was
This guy wouldn't have listened.
What bar were you at?
It was like a restaurant actually. It was
Okay.
called Il Fornaio in Beverly Hills. If you're familiar.
That was good.
Italian.
Nice.
Italian. It was mainly like a restaurant, and then you serve drinks to the whole place, and it was at a small bar.
What was the biggest role of 2016? Can you remember?
Our first huge role was we got cast in a SAG BMW commercial, and that was a huge deal.
And it played right before the Super Bowl. So
Nice.
not technically
Yep.
in the Super Bowl, but the lead up to it.
That's great.
That's when it aired.
We opened for Lady Gaga that year because she actually did the national anthem that year.
That's great.
Yeah, if it would have been in the Super Bowl, we would have made a lot more about it. It was before the Super
I
Bowl.
opened for Jack Mahler's yesterday.
Yeah,
I
dude.
was
Oh,
on, yeah,
nice,
it was
nice.
a different stage, but
And the other big role that people know of more a little bit is a twin thriller on Lifetime called Married to a Murderer.
Okay.
Where it's a classic Lifetime movie,
Yep.
but it's twins.
nice.
And
And you're through through all of it.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And I would say we also did Hotels.com and Sprint, but another thing that our 10 fans might know us for in the commercial world is we did a campaign called Jibber Jabber, where he played Jibber and I played Jabber, and it was for Symetra Financial Insurance. Financial insurance.
You can find some of those pictures on my Instagram. It's
And we played goofy characters.
yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, middle episode. Say both your personal Instagrams and Twitters right now, so the viewer can open that on their phone right now.
the Austin Arnold. THE Austin Arnold.
At Aaron T. Arnold on Instagram and Twitter, and of course Altcoin Daily IO on Twitter and Altcoin Daily on YouTube.
You guys are very low key personally.
Yeah, it's like I'm a lurker on Instagram. Really, we're big for the crypto channel on Twitter and.
And you told me, you said your TikTok is for relaxing. You're not trying to get the crypto algorithm. I might even be spiking this right now by saying this on YouTube. I'm sending crypto traffic to your TikTok right now by speaking this out loud.
That'd be nice if we had a crypto TikTok, because you were right, because I don't like to on TikTok. I like to view the cat videos. I like to view I don't like to get. There's a lot of great content creators on crypto TikTok. Wendy O does great work, but I like to go there and get away from crypto for a little bit.
So okay, and so keep telling the story of
How I got into crypto. I was gonna.
Yes, keep telling it.
Okay, cool. So just to finish it up, so I was looking to get into YouTube.
Yes.
At that time. Vegan cooking show, too high production, needed something where having a news and information based show, there's always something to talk about. Anyway, at that time, me and my ex-girlfriend broke up. All of a sudden I had a lot more free time. One of the guys I worked with was telling me about trading cryptocurrency, so I was like, oh man, that could be a new hobby. Maybe
At the restaurant.
At the restaurant, and also
Was he in the cook? Was he at the back? The cook? Was he the cook?
No,
Was he the dishwasher?
No, he wasn't. He was just my friend. He
Okay.
was a waiter. And also, I remember going to the Improv with my friend Justin in Hollywood and the Uber driver. See, this was as we're getting into 2017, things are heating up in crypto land.
Right.
And the Uber driver was telling me about, I think he said he 3x'd his money in Firecoin, and he was telling us, oh, you got to get in. Anyway, so then you're the top of the cryptocurrency market in 2017. I didn't realize it was the top at the time,
Right.
you know? So I was seeing all these crypto YouTubers getting tons of views, and some of them were good, and some of them like are still here today. But like some of them, I felt like, oh, you know, this is like, I think I could do better. I think we could raise the bar a little bit for what's on crypto YouTube.
They
And-
were super shilly, some of
Yep.
them, and long, hour-long live streams that never got to the point.
Yeah, but there's a lot of great ones too. And I was inspired by the great ones, and also inspired by the ones that I thought we could improve upon. And anyway, so at that time I was like, I think I could do that. Started the YouTube channel February 2nd of 2018, and been releasing a video every day from there. Brought Austin on a month later.
Video every day since February 2nd, 2018.
That's right.
It's not called Altcoin Weekly, Altcoin Daily.
That's amazing.
And by the way,
How did you, like, that's like growing a beard. Like, people are like, how did you, like, push past the, like, scratchy part? Like, how did you, like, did every single day from the first day, there wasn't, like, took a Sunday off, like, at day 43?
I mean, maybe there's been a day off once or twice, but sometimes we release 2 videos a day, so definitely there's
okay.
been more content. But by the way,
That's
I mean, what's your, the scratchy part of the beard?
Yeah.
It was starting the channel in February 2nd, 2018. Maybe the worst time ever to start a crypto YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Because people were burnt out from the market and not interested, and we were trying to cultivate an audience and maybe infer that, Bitcoin will be a good investment in the future.
When your guy at the restaurant was like talking to you, were you then like coming home and feeding the information, the alpha, as we say on YouTube, to do you guys say alpha?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Other
Alpha.
channels say alpha.
Yeah.
Were you feeding the alpha to back at home to Austin, or were you keeping it for yourself?
I was keeping it for myself because I don't want to just like shill him into Firecoin, like
Well,
he
yeah.
never did me.
This-
Or was someone talking to you at the gym then at the same time? And
No,
you're like,
I got nothing. They were talking. they had the sports game on in the gym, but Aaron was telling me big picture, dude. You gotta check out crypto. Crypto YouTuber on TV or whatever, and not anything specific, but actually the first few weeks, Aaron just kept it to himself, the YouTube channel,
Okay.
just to prove to himself
Yeah.
that he could do it.
What was the production schedule like back then? Are you a morning person, afternoon person, or was it very sporadic?
But yeah,
When you're inspired?
back then it was whenever I had time because I was still working at the restaurant, which was normally in the nighttime, and sometimes I used to come back from the restaurant and make a video at night to be released the very next morning.
Nice.
And sometimes it was before work, be released in the afternoon. So yeah, it was whenever I was hungry to.
And is it the same format we know and love right now?
It was the
Or
same
like-
format, except it got a whole lot better over time. Getting in our 10,000 hours in the bear market. It's like my taste didn't match my talent at that time, and maybe still to a degree. Like I always want to get better, but I was like, damn, I just like, something that really helped me on YouTube was being competitive with other people and like having influences that were on my level. Just a little bit higher than me, and then like somebody like far off with
Yeah.
like 100,000 subscribers that has great production that I can maybe work towards,
Mhm.
and that's what motivated me.
So then when did you get brought in and start doing the every other day thing?
Probably like a month later. I'm
Right.
not sure specifically,
Yeah,
but
Right.
It was when we hit
Yes.
1,000 subscribers. Then I finally like told Austin about the YouTube channel,
Right.
and Austin's first words were, "How many did you pay for?"
yeah, because somebody doesn't just drop, "Oh, I got 1,000
Right.
subscribers."
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And the answer is
I'm
zero.
just getting a vision of you just like squirreled away in your room, just like working on the YouTube channel, and you're
Exactly.
just like always like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dude, you okay, dude? Who are you talking to?
Dude, my wife says that all the time. She's, are you on a podcast? And like, cause her work calls will like hear I'm like yelling in the other room. Like, what is happening? Like your links have been sent to her coworkers because they can like hear the like I'm like yelling.
Oh, cool.
Into the computer.
When you've done
Yeah,
our show.
Yes.
Nice.
And that's why they're like, what's happening in the office?
Yeah. Dude, love having you on our show because you're always so passionate about Bitcoin and personal finance and the circular economy. You're a great guest because you're so passionate about, you just know a lot because you're so passionate about it.
Yeah. Well, no, man. I appreciate the encouragement, and it's like there is because I've been working on my like live speaking also a little bit, where like going to the meetups, and I've been trying to get down the like speaking for a full 40 minutes. Like I'm pretty okay at speaking for 20 minutes like on a topic, but giving more and going for a full 40 is something like I'm working on. Like almost like a stand-up set, honestly. I never got a stand-up set past like 2 minutes. Like I never was good, but like public speaking, I'm trying to push 20 and push 40 to like have my like thing that I can say. And like the combination of Bitcoin and personal finance and the combination of like meetups is the only thing I can like I feel like I can talk at length in a valuable way about.
Definitely. And
kind of just rolls out.
there's not a lot of people I know, just a handful of people. So it's like, it's great.
How I wanted to go off of your thing of like using TikTok to relax, like because so when you're not in, and I'm gonna tie it to personal finance.
Yes.
Because same thing. You guys have a lot of cryptocurrency knowledge. Like you have a lot of cryptocurrency knowledge. And I also appreciate actually what you said about even early on in the channel, understanding that some channels are kind of just too over the top with just like hype and like randomness almost, that like there's a way that we can cover this in an interesting way that is hype also, but doesn't have to be so like I don't know. It's like, I guess the technology version would be you guys just really focused on your like product, like, and the product sells itself. And so that's something I've always appreciated about the channel and think that's why it's grown.
This
But-
is
go.
what I think. Like what we try and do is both excite and inform. And some
Yeah.
people only try and excite, some people
Yeah.
maybe only try and inform. And actually I think, especially at that time, some crypto content creators in the space, some of them had the attitude, this is what you need to know about crypto. This is the content, the smartest content out there. And if you don't listen to it,
Yeah.
this hour-long live stream, you're the idiot. And that's not
Yeah.
how I thought about it. I thought like, hey, I understand what it's like to watch YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to take your attention for granted. I want to like make sure like
Right.
I'm playing like I want
Listen
you
to
to
the
watch it.
audience.
Yeah, listen
Right.
to the audience.
So when you're not in production mode and you have when you're not in production mode, not in work mode, and you have all this cryptocurrency information in your head, and you have all of this like 8 years in the entertainment industry in your head, and you guys are just like, we're all just like growing up and like moving on with life and like all this stuff. Like, how do you guys think about Bitcoin and personal finance in your own life? Like, not in news mode. How do you think about it?
For me, it's helped me think about savings differently, just because, especially when you own your own business and, being an actor, you're your own business, essentially. There's always things that can take your money away in the short term, like instant gratification, like, man, I need new photos, new headshots, or maybe I should take this class, or there's a million things that incentivize you, wow, I better put it into this now, when you should do both, savings and invest in yourself in the short term and long term.
Yeah.
So just having Bitcoin, like when I buy that,
Yeah.
me personally, and I think many other people, I'm in it for the long term.
Yeah.
I'm trying to accumulate, whether it's a little bit of every paycheck or it's just, maybe we take some revenue from the YouTube page, whatever it is, that's the long term. And as opposed to even a savings account in the bank, and this is just for me personally, there was times, dip in, they're all kind of in the same account there, but Bitcoin was totally different. I thought about it differently. Man, they're not making any more of this. And I could just see the network effect growing globally. I was like, wow, there's something here. This is catching on. So I thought about it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, some people say Bitcoin is the gateway drug to crypto. I think Bitcoin is also the gateway drug to just personal finance and thinking about personal finance. And, as Austin said, Bitcoin incentivizes saving. And then, something I realized is that, and also like Bitcoin tears down the walls, makes everybody on an even playing field. And there's a lot of things that the rich people or just the financially savvy people take advantage of that most people aren't aware of. For instance, IRAs, retirement accounts.
Right.
And so Bitcoin got me thinking about that, and then I just naturally wanted to learn about how to invest in a tax advantaged way and stuff like that.
Yeah. What do you guys, this is a hard pivot. What do you guys think about real estate? Like, is a house in like Hancock Park, like, is that your vision? Like, so you talked about your personal finances now then. Like, where are Aaron and Austin like 10 years from now, 5 years from now? Are you guys
Bunk beds?
Yeah, like, cause you guys, yeah. What's the vision? What's the exciting where are we going? Are we staying in LA forever? Like, what are we doing?
We're staying in LA. We're taking over LA.
Yeah,
one Bitcoin at a time, building the community in entertainment and
Perfect.
in acting. But in terms of real estate, I'd love to. They're not making any more land. They're not making any more Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I don't know that world enough. So I am, I'm still learning and trying to consume content all about, how, when's the best time to buy and stuff. But in the perfect world, and maybe everybody thinks this, I'd love for, the housing market was so hot last year, everything was really high. I'd love for a '08 type crash and, find something.
Right.
And have
Real
that.
estate YouTube is my cats on TikTok.
Nice, dude.
I
really?
just love it. I love watching it. It's just fun, and it's like relaxing.
Who do you like?
So number one like YouTube channel for real estate, Altos Research. They're like sub 10K followers.
Nice.
Okay,
Hidden gem.
it's like honestly, because they like, I can even say the intro, like every single week we track all the homes for sale in the country. Like that's what he sets at the beginning of every video, and it's great.
This
The
is like
charts are good.
finding Bitcoin in 2016.
Yeah.
That's how early we are to this guy's channel.
No, and I have lots to say. I don't think so. I don't think there's gonna be an '08 stock crash. I don't think that.
Because they keep printing.
Yeah, I just think. Well, I think everything's gonna melt up. I think we're in a melt up. Because the money's broken.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is that good for Bitcoin if things are melting up?
Bitcoin. No, it just is what it is. Like that's what's happening in the world.
Yeah.
Like in Bitcoin. Yeah, and Bitcoin's just sitting there, like being an alternative for people. It's not good for people that like are using dollars as their savings account. That's definitely not. Because dollars are losing to goods and services. Like an average townhome is increasing per week more than people get paid per week. Like that is a hamster wheel. Or like gas at $6 a gallon for people that are driving to their, $13, $15, $23 an hour jobs. That is a hamster wheel. Like that's happening. And so yeah, it sucks.
It's outrageous. And like what is the way out? Obviously, for the first time ever, we have something that's, undebasable, not controlled by any centralized party, permissionless. So
Cardano. Just kidding.
Right, get out.
Just kidding.
This guy.
But it's nice, just good. The first time, they didn't have this 15 years ago. So
Right.
for the first time ever, that's why I think education is so important.
What? So what have you noticed? One thing I also like hearing from you guys about is kind of just your general, like you watching the comments roll in, and you can feel like the waves of just like different things happening and different views coming to the channel and different like comments. What has been, so over the last 12 months, how it just went like hit 69 back to 40, what were the comments like over that up and down?
It's pretty interesting because Bitcoin at 43K, 44K, 49K. It's like back when Bitcoin back in like 2018, 2019 was at 6K, then kind of had a capitulation, then back at 6K. It's just like all the FOMO that happened at the beginning of 2021 when Bitcoin was at 49K is gone. So through the comments, we just see people, talking about very extended bear markets, being very bearish. That's what I notice.
I would also say that this is so cliche to anybody who's been in the space, but like everybody at 60 and 69K was saying, oh, I wish I could have bought at 40.
For
like
sure.
Those were the comments.
For sure.
And then when it dips, everybody gets scared and it's like, oh, I'll wait
For
till
sure.
a little lower. And then it bounces back up. And it's like everybody FOMO's in at the top. And then when they get that dip, then they get scared, which is very natural if you're coming into the space for the first time, which a ton of people did in this last year. But, obviously you get the long-term mindset. People need to have longer time preferences.
But I really like, watching the comments after we do any of our videos, throughout the 4 years, because you always I really like the people who are, proactive, positive. I like constructive criticism. Of course, you have the 10% who are trolls. But then more than that, because, people come into cryptocurrency in waves. I really like when I see and of course, there's tons of shills on YouTube comments, but sometimes you get somebody actually trying to help somebody out.
Right.
And you get the guy who's been in it for a couple years or says he has, and then helping out the new guy. I guess you can't really trust that at all, but I guess I'm biased when I think, oh, that is true. And somebody in the comments is helping this person who just got in the last 6 months.
Yeah. What, talk to me about your friends. Let's talk about friends and family. Like whether we're talking about your Ohio crew or just friends in LA, how are they tracking with just the success of the channel and what you guys know about cryptocurrency?
our friends are super important, especially in LA. That came up with us. We all hung out when we first moved to LA. Just fellow people in the entertainment industry. They, honestly, it was a little slow to catch on at first. We in the bear market when we started growing the channel, we were really into it, and then our friends weren't that much, just because like it's going down. Why would I be interested in it?
Yep.
But that's one of the best times to be interested. And then over time, half probably because like we would go see a movie with our friends, we'd be like, hey, and he paid for the tickets, like, oh, can you Venmo me? I was like, I can send you some Bitcoin. And the friend, at first didn't catch on, but over time was like, yeah, dude, that'd be cool.
But even for like, we're referring to our friend Johnny, who we work with, for like camera equipment or something. He was like, can you Venmo me? Because we were splitting it. And I was like, do you want Bitcoin or Venmo? And now you can do it both on Venmo, but like back then you couldn't. And he said, not Bitcoin, LOL. And that, I think it was like $300 or something. That Bitcoin today probably worth over 1,000.
Yep.
And it was like in the deep. It wasn't during the crash of like 2020 or something.
It was no, it was like in 2019, I think.
The market was
sure.
low, was
Yeah,
the point,
yeah.
and looking at what it could have been today instead of the dollars.
Right.
But anyway, that guy just booked a major show. We told him, hey, you should say like, hey, you want to get paid in Bitcoin, and he's like, oh, maybe for season 2.
Well, he can always just save himself in Bitcoin. But yeah, so you got like when Bitcoin was low, and we tried to like just shill our friends, just on Bitcoin, like just understand the value prop of Bitcoin, and they weren't really interested. We started growing the channel, like I think at 30K subscribers is when we started telling our friends.
Yeah.
We're gonna wait for 50K, but we were too excited.
Yeah.
And they were supportive, but they didn't really get it. They're like, oh, that's cool, crypto.
They were more impressed with like the engagement and following on YouTube because they understood that.
For sure. Exactly.
And like some of our friends are stand-up comedians or actors or whatever, and they all understand, okay, growing the audience so more people can see your film, more people come out to your show. So they love that. And then they started learning about crypto then through that.
Yeah. I had something. It was on the
Co-star and guest star.
Yeah, tell me the difference between co-star and guest star.
Basically, there's SAG levels, so it's very it's very specific how much you get paid. Think of co-star, I guess, if you're watching NCIS.
Yeah.
Co-star would be maybe the guy behind in the convenience store, very minor part, or the guy, that's not really that needed for the story, but he's there.
Yes.
Guest star might be the guy on the truck putting boxes out of the truck as they ask him, and as he gives plot points, and he's basically in there longer. So guest star is a little higher.
So guest star is better.
Yes.
It goes extra, 5 and under, co-star, guest star, series regular.
Isn't there something right between guest and series regular? Is
Recurring,
it like
recurring.
with? Yeah. Okay.
Recurring? Yeah, like when they do like with.
Recurring guest star, recurring.
They do with sometimes, and it's a name. It's a
name.
name. It's a 1 episode name.
Well,
Is that with?
Well, also like in Happy Days, like the father was with the whole time, or like
Got it. Because that was probably written into the show.
Well, he was the name, but he wasn't the star of the show. So it's basically saying we're going to give him reverence or her.
Yeah.
So it's a special thing, but obviously you're not the star, you're the father.
It's something that they can give over that means something to many people. It is really cool, but it's not more money. It's just like based on, just the negotiations
Clout.
with your agent. Yeah.
Well, and it's marketing.
Yeah.
It's like when Nick Carter was in our video for like 30 seconds, but we still made him the thumbnail.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Learning about YouTube. Did you listen to the Peter Thiel talk?
Yes.
Dude,
That was the best talk so far, I think.
the Peter Thiel talk was really good. It was really good, and he like brought slides, he brought information. There was a point, because this is, a Bitcoin only conference, where he started talking about Ethereum directly.
Let's talk about this.
I was like, he doesn't know the room.
Yeah.
But then he was actually like pretty like Bitcoin centric, so I thought it was pretty cool.
I have thoughts on that part. Do you guys want to go first, or do you want me to go
You
first?
go first.
Okay. So Peter Thiel's talk was the best talk of the conference so far. Like his comments on Ethereum, I loved how he said, he was like, Bitcoin is money, and then he was like, Ethereum is. He was talking about the difference between store of value and then velocity of money, and he was talking about how fast. And he gave the analogies back to PayPal, how they thought they were designing money, but they weren't. They were designing pass through, and it was all really well done. And then when he got to Ethereum, he said, Ethereum is a payments network if it works. And I love how he said if it works, because that was like, that is actually, like, I think that's a very good line. And the reason why I think that's a good line is because he has to deal, the world that he's in is the just like Chamath, Tim Ferriss, Balaji, like all of that world. And for him to say Ethereum is payments if it works is like
The VCs just knife in their heart.
yeah, like it's that yeah, what I love about that is that it's just good. It's like he's saying their word and he's like if you are right, then you're right, but you might not be. Like and what I like about it is that anytime I hear Balaji talk and he talks about Ethereum, I just swap out Bitcoin sidechain for Ethereum. And I agree with 99% of what he's saying. Like, because I think he's very smart. And I think the way that he talks about Bitcoin being pegged into sidechains is very accurate. Like, I think that is very observable. And the other thing that's going towards the like Ethereum if it works thing in my head is I'm going to start talking about this a lot more. And I'm honestly like working on doing it live right now of like talking through it. I think everything is a Bitcoin sidechain. Don't hold me to this right now. This is literally like I'm brainstorming out loud. Everything is a Bitcoin sidechain. Solana, Binance, Stacks, Liquid, Lightning are all going to be Ethereum. Like Ethereum will be killed by the ETH killers in mass. And so then pairing this with the Jack, I'm giving you my thesis of the entire conference, okay? And then you're going to react to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But pairing all of that, okay, with the Jack Mallers talk at the end of yesterday, where he's just talking about the strike point of sale and how important payments is, right? Like no one has helped the merchant since 1949. Super powerful. I think the new, you know how so he gave the history of all the credit cards, and it was like, but now when you go to a restaurant, it's like we accept Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover. Like they have the sticker of it's like we take all of them. Like we take all of them. Yeah. We're open to everyone. Like we take Visa. I think the new thing is going to be we take Bitcoin, Lightning, Liquid, Stacks, Solana. Like I think it's going to be but I'm going to go super bullish on the Bitcoin side here, but you're not paying in STX token or in Solana token or in ETH token or in Lightning token. You're paying in Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin is still the money, but all of these side chains, layer 2s, L3, Web3, buzzword, all have Bitcoin pegged into them, and they're moving on the rails or whatever like term you want to use for that. And then the merchants take all of the side chains and all of the like other blockchains, if you want to call them that, at their point of sale. So that was my Bitcoin 2022 thesis as it stands Friday morning.
I hope you talked about that on stage.
No, my on stage was no more focused on what I'm good at talking about.
Oh, okay.
What's your reaction to that?
Well, first off, I think there's a clear reason that people, see Bitcoin as a harder money, because unlike Ethereum, it's not being upgraded every, 6 months or whatever. Bitcoin has an upgrade maybe every couple of years, and it's never going to be a hard fork. It's always a soft fork. So there's a reason Bitcoin is a harder money.
Yeah.
In terms of will they be accepting, and I loved what Jack was saying, it's a clear value add for merchants and consumers. Instead of using Visa, instead of using MasterCard, which has a couple middlemen in it, you can just do everything, settle transactions on the Bitcoin network, way less middlemen, so it's obviously more value for the consumer and merchant. I personally don't think that merchants will ever accept Solana or Polkadot in mass, maybe a stable coin on top, because that's pegged to the dollar, only because one, super volatile, super unknown, super risky, or they could accept on paper Solana, but they will never touch it. It's just going to be fiat. It's going to be transferred by some middleman service.
Well, but you hear what I'm saying, right? That like they're not taking, in my thesis, they wouldn't take Solana. They would take S-BTC. They would take pegged in and I don't know if this is a thing yet. I don't know if I haven't seen the Altcoin Daily episode that you can peg Bitcoin into Solana. What I'm saying is I'm building off of the Balaji thing where he's like pegging into Liquid, opening up a Lightning channel, pegging into like RSK, pegging Bitcoin into Stacks. Like that's all starting to look the same to me now. That's all starting. And we interviewed a guy, I don't know if it's going to release before or after this one, but we interviewed a guy from Stacks where we were talking about Bitcoin. He has a really interesting term, Bitcoin pegged altcoins versus free floating altcoins. And I actually think that's really good terminology that can help in this next level, like layer 2 discussion. Because I think we're just now dialing into being able to communicate about layer 2s in a correct way, honestly. Like, yeah. And so I'm like, Bitcoin won as money. And now I want to reopen up everything to talk about what does layer 2 mean, what does sidechain mean. And so if there is an S-BTC where I can pay the transaction fees, again, in sats, because what I was telling him is that I don't like pegging my Bitcoin into stuff where I have to hold the other coin to pay the transaction fees, because I don't want the slippage of that. I don't believe in number go up of that. I believe in number go up of Bitcoin. But if you built whatever cool XYZ thing, I'm down to use it, but let me pay in my money that I use.
That's a really interesting theory. I'm still like thinking about it. I mean,
Yeah.
It sounds pretty cool, and I do think that we're going to see a continuation of that, because people do want. I mean, there's tons of Bitcoin wrapped in Ethereum right now that people just use their Bitcoin and do stuff like DeFi or whatever it is to get yield on their Bitcoin. I mean, I definitely think we'll see a continuation.
Also, Do Kwon, who's like the CEO
I was
and
about
founder.
to bring that up.
All right, cool.
Talk about this. Talk about it.
Of Terra Luna and the Luna Foundation or ecosystem. They've already bought 1 billion or 3 billion. I think 1 billion, and they might up to 3 and up to 10 maybe. Anyway, they bought at least $1 billion worth of Bitcoin to back their stablecoin on Terra Luna, UST. And he's flat out said on Lorishan's podcast, we see Terra Luna as the layer 2 for Bitcoin. We think it'll be settled on the Bitcoin network, but obviously people will transact in that. So that's probably what, when we're asking what people actually use, a lot of other chains are probably going to try and get the value from the Bitcoin network as well.
Yeah. And they're all going to have public leaders per se. Like there's no, dude, like nothing is as bulletproof as Bitcoin. Like nothing, like I'm tired of this whole, I actually don't like the word decentralized. Like, I hate the word decentralized. I think it has gone flat, and it's not helping the conversation anymore. Like, Bitcoin is what it is, okay? Like, in my opinion.
You're referring to Bitcoin doesn't have like the charismatic leader, right? Like,
correct. Well, not even charismatic or non-charismatic. It just doesn't have a person. Like, it doesn't have a CEO. It doesn't have like that person that you're like, oh, their opinion like cares, even if they've like stepped out of the project or whatever. Or like, okay, Jack Dorsey like left Twitter, but he could still tweet about Twitter and make a meaningful impact on like, or like he can twist arms behind the scene and pick up a phone and like do it, or like same thing with like, dude, the like founder of Stacks like has that, like Blockstream has that, like Lightning Labs has that, Do Kwon has that, and so the dude Chamath like has that, dude, like saying like I'm holding it ish, like that's not good, like that's not good to say that like on this, like, so sidechains are not gonna feel like Bitcoin, and I'm coming to this thing of like, that's okay. That's okay. And that's why I'm going to that thesis of the like, it is like the card networks. Yeah. And then the merchant takes all the card networks and Bitcoin is the currency. And it's like, and then so 3.5 years from now, like we'll be talking and we'll be arguing about whether like my Amex card is better than your Discover card, but we're like, no dude, like SBTC is just better to use, man. Like it's better. Like Lightning is still complicated, bro. Like they haven't figured it out yet. Like we're waiting or whatever. Or it could literally be the reverse. Like, I
like what you're saying. I feel like you're thinking like 10 years out plus. Like I think like in the next like 5 years or whatever, in this nascent industry which is blowing up, I still think we're in like a hyper growth period for like all of crypto. So I don't know if like it's gonna like be as apparent in 5 years that that's what's happening, although I think it's gonna grow.
Well, what I'm doing right now is I'm getting on tape, like Peter Thiel ran his 1994 comments, like his 90. That's what I'm doing right now. Yeah. We're just like
Gary Vee does that all the time.
Yeah.
Pulls clips when he's talking about, hey, the internet is something.
Have you guys done that yet? Have you guys gone?
A couple times, but not to the high production that those guys do.
Did what?
I should like
hold an old comment. Like you've been on tape a lot talking about
our old clips. When
should.
Bitcoin was like 6K, alleging that it could break like over 20K or something.
Yeah, or is it just kept trending down? And we're like, guys, I think there's something here.
Does anyone else help on the channel? Are there production assistants or anything? Someone helps you upload?
Whoa, pulling back the curtain.
Yeah.
No, it's just us.
It is.
And it really makes it a lot more intimate. I feel like I think it's cool when people have big teams, and it is good to just scale in general. And like probably will scale, but like it's always just been us, and like I think it like keeps things tight and concise, and we just speak directly into it, and then we get it out as soon as possible. I think a lot of people like that.
Yeah, when we had under 1,000 subs, it was just us. Now we're over 1 million, and we're still doing the editing. We're still the one working the Twitter. We have no social media person. We have no, nobody answer emails other than us or take phone calls. So obviously, it is very different, and it would actually be smart to kind of hand off some of that work to an editor, so we could focus more on the big picture stuff for the channel. But so that is a goal of mine eventually, but we haven't done it thus far.
First two people I'd hire would be an editor, about to snipe Bogdan over here. He's so good with choice, and then an administrative assistant to do all the emails and stuff. But
I would also love to get somebody to develop like our Instagram account or TikTok and just have the content we're already doing out.
Yeah.
Pull a clip every day and just post it on TikTok and grow that.
All right, question we ask every guest is, what is a Bitcoin product or service that doesn't exist yet that you would use?
oh, that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm gonna hold for a full 40 seconds in silence as I think about this.
Like, give me an example of what somebody said.
An example for me?
Yeah.
Well, my example is, my answers that I like a lot that you can't use now is like accounting software. Because
Oh, I thought of something. Yeah, you go though. You continue.
well, no, that was it. They've already heard it. Like lots of guests have said it.
Okay. When I was first going down the rabbit hole, I heard this a while ago, and I always thought it was a cool idea. And now the Lightning Network is so much like farther developed, but we're not here yet, making like microtransactions, like instead of paywalls, maybe like reading a book. Like maybe you read 30 pages of a book and you don't want to continue it, and you're just making just in Satoshis, like microtransactions, and it costs you, less than buying the full like $20 book or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like microtransactions in Satoshis on the Lightning Network for like doing things online, getting access to things, which ultimately that could also be like dystopian if you have to pay for everything on the internet, but just in certain situations, like reading an article or reading a book where it's just like literally like a cent, and or maybe even like stopping spam in that way if you have to pay a little tiny bit. That's kind of something I think would be cool.
I think so. You look up Impervious browser and Stacker News.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It exists, you're saying?
No, it doesn't. I can't explain it very well yet, but
Okay.
we're getting there, I believe, and it'll be a good story.
For me, let me just preface by saying, I can honestly say Bitcoin does exactly what I needed to do now, meaning the main reason I use Bitcoin as store of value savings, and I know means of transaction, I obviously use it sometimes, but for me, the main use case for me is store value. I'm not trying to spend my Bitcoin that much. I'm trying to get rid of my dirty fiat. I'm trying to accumulate more Bitcoin. But I guess one thing I would improve is just with the ledgers or the wallets I use every day, it would be great to get better UI UX. Where it's just I can easily figure it out, but for my friends and stuff, just something that's closer to what we use every day, so it's easier to share with the masses.
Yeah. No, someone stopped me this morning and was like, the conference should have like breakout rooms where you can like get training on wallets.
That'd be
and
cool.
stuff. Yeah. So cool. All right, guys. What dude? Closing thoughts on just.
I'll go first. I just want to say, huge fan of Brian Harrington. Met him originally at his meetup that he used to host in Southern California. He moved away to start a family. That's fine.
Well, I'm still in Southern California. It's
Still
a
in Southern
smaller meetup
California,
now.
but yeah, it's a different meetup location. And big fan of Choice, obviously, and super psyched to be here. Super psyched to be, at this Bitcoin conference in the Bitcoin crypto community. Really excited about the future of this space in general. My goal is to keep learning, and everybody thinks that they know what's going on in Bitcoin and crypto because of what happened in the past. But, Bitcoin's only been around 13 years. There's still a long way to go. So, stay at the forefront. That's what I'm interested in. And, that's what we do on the channel.
And everybody that came from our channel, Altcoin Daily, you probably saw we shared it on Twitter, we shared it on YouTube. Subscribe to Choice. Subscribe to the podcast. They do great long-form content. Brian knows a lot of OG Bitcoiners, so he's getting great guests. Subscribe and leave a comment.
Dude. No, thank you guys. Look, I love watching YouTube. I love watching YouTube. I like talking to you guys. I like watching YouTube. I like doing YouTube. Go find that Altos research channel too. Shout out some other people too. Who are the other up and coming YouTubers? We were with Benjamin Cowan yesterday.
Benjamin Cowan does great on-chain analysis. He does not monetize the channel. He puts out great content, and that's a little more longer form. If I subscribe to him, I'm trying to think. There's a ton of I just like the long form podcasts in general, whether that's Pomp or
I'll be honest with the people I watch for information and entertainment. Podcasts and YouTube, What Bitcoin Did, TFTC, Bankless, BitBoy Show, Cryptos Are Us,
Elliot of Elliot Trades.
Trades.
Those are peers in the space for us. Decrypt puts out great articles.
Yeah, Decrypt. Stefan Livera doesn't post as much anymore. I don't know. I just like what I do is I consume everything. I want to hear the Bitcoin only content. I want to hear the crypto centric content, the Ethereum centric, the Cardano centric. I want to try and understand how they think, and I want to, then form my own opinions and get the whole big picture.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my everything as a sidechain shell on the road.
Nice.
We'll just take it to every channel.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. Dude, this was genuinely fun. Genuinely fun. I hope you enjoyed watching. This conference has been fun, and so I hope you were able to feel that with us today.
Great way to wake up. Yeah, this is early, guys, so understand that.
Yeah, we got to find out what time it is and what's been happening.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Hey all, this is Brian. You can reach me on Twitter at Brain Harrington. Shoot me a DM with any feedback from today's episode. This has been a Choice App production. Bitcoin is becoming centric to personal finance, and we want to help you learn how to better engage with Bitcoin financial services. None of this is financial advice and is for education and entertainment only.